Hey, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, ladies. I don't know if this thing's working. Hang on, make sure that's all. Focus on. Up. Plug that in. Okay, let's see if this is working. I have no idea. The bar at the bottom's not doing anything. I really hope. Hang on, I'm gonna just be loud, and if it is like if there's some movement, then so just watch your ears. Hello, hello. Okay, I have no idea. I assume it's working. I've never really had a major issue with this microphone, so first thing I want to do is unbox this plane I picked up from the electronics store. So let's have a look. I haven't actually opened it. Yep. Oh, it's not as small as I thought it would be. So it's very light. It works by it's got little electronic motors down the bottom there. So yeah, let's have a look at it. Yeah, I was at JCar. I just wanted a new DSL phone line to modem line, and that's what I went there for. And I saw this there for $60, and I was like, well, $60 ain't much, so I'm going to pick it up. I mean, this might need to be glued in. They're okay. They don't do anything. They're not connected to anything. They're just stabilizers. Of course, it doesn't want to go in. That would be too easy. I have a feeling this won't fly that well, but I just thought for $60 it might be all right. Oh, there you go. So, yeah, it's a Su-35. It's got a rubber nose. Got some spare parts here. It's kind of funny. So we got the wheels. Don't know if it really needs the wheels on there. Probably unnecessary for this plane, but we'll put them on. It's got spare. Yeah, so we've got the wheels. Let's stick them on just for the sake of it, but I don't think they're very necessary. I can't imagine you'd be landing on much. There's the nose wheel. Yeah, they just push you. And that's the nose wheel there. It does have a remote. It's kind of funny. I think it would fly better without the wheels, to be honest. There you go. Less drag. Let's see what kind of a battery it's got. Jeez, look at that. Tiny, tiny battery. Yeah, it's definitely an indoor flyer, but I don't think it would fly in the house too well. I'd probably be able to fly it outside if the weather was right. Yeah. Looks like we got some spare, some spare servo cables. And it is the Minotaur FX. And all you get for the remote, I'll probably hook it up to my proper remote. That's the on and off I take it. Throttle up, left, right. So you don't even get yaw with it or anything like that. I think that'll be good fun. That's that. Yeah, it's not like my other planes. My other plane is definitely superior. Okay, so that's done. I just wanted to have a look at that, but yeah, it's not too bad. Let's talk about racing. Okay, so what have I learned going to the track? Well, we're going to break down a video. Let's see if we can screen share. All right, I better bring the video up. Hang on. and then we can screen share, and I'll go through what I've learned and what you should do to your car in order to get a lot more enjoyment on the track. So this isn't about, I'll show you the racing lines and whatnot. Let's see, here we go, I'll just bring up the video. I would have liked to have used the other video, but unfortunately when I recorded, the sun was not in our favour. Right. Yeah, hang on. We want to go to that one, and then share screen, that one, share, and then we can go to full screen. I think you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so first thing first, when you go to the track, you just got to check in with the marshals and everything. Where I went, they were really nice, really helpful. When I did it, it was $75. It was the Collie Motorplex in Collie, which is southwest of Perth. This is a better track than Wanneroo, more corners, more fun. So, yeah. I don't think it's as fast in a straight line than Wanneroo. Wanneroo is a very quick track when it comes to straight line speed, but certainly, let's get a bit closer to the camera. Certainly, yeah. So I pulled this video off the dash cam, that's why it sort of just starts where it is, and I couldn't find any others on the dash cam. Good thing is I know how to use the dash cam now, so that's okay. So what I found was the biggest problem with a standard road car. So this is on standard road tires. The car is not modified. There's nothing done to the car. Okay. What I found was the brakes were the biggest letdown with the car. You get 1 or 2 good laps, and then the brakes were overheated. You could do some cool down laps to try and get a bit more runs out of it on a run. I'll show you the times after so you can kind of get a gist. But this is a standard Commodore SSV 2010. And I like the car the way it is. I don't know that I want to really modify it much, so we're just going to go through it. So first things first, though, just hitting your apexes. The reason why I'm not going flat stick there is because the tyres were only giving me so much grip. If you're wondering what speed I was doing around this corner, I was doing about, out of that first corner, I was doing about 80. And this corner, I was hitting about 90, I think, 85, 90. And then I get the speed up to about 100, 105, 110, hit the brakes. At the 50, I found hitting it at the 50 on the short track was fine. So yeah, we're just hitting our lines. Now, for people who don't know racing, what you want to do is you want to make your line as wide as, well, you basically want to make the car as straight and flat through the corners as possible. So that's why we go out wide here and then come in as tight as we can, and that keeps the car balanced and steady through your corner. The biggest upset you'll find is when your brakes start going, then it's going to upset you going into a corner and coming out of a corner, because that's a big thing. So we brake at the 50, third gear there, back off to second, coming up that down the track, so we're at second, got flat stick from the straight, go down to third, winding third all the way out, touch on 140 around there, slow down, and this is what was really cooking the brakes. We hit about 60, 65 through this section here, back out wide, in second gear, third gear, back to second. It was a bit wet, I wanted to take it out in the wet, so it gets a bit squirrely coming out of this corner. I realised I wasn't going to get much out of the car, so that's why I do a cool down lap. So I just do a cool down lap here. So yeah, just cooling the brakes off, cooling the car down. The other big thing I found was that the car oil, yeah, it was getting rather hot when I was going out for quite a few laps. So what I'm doing, I'll stop screen sharing. And at one point, I got the boil up to about 130 degrees. Obviously, I was let it have a good cool down after that. Open the bonnet up, just let it air out. Another thing that you should think about doing with your car to get maximum performance will be if you want to do this, and I don't want to do this to my car because I don't want to devalue my car or damage it. But if this is what you want to do, create some ventilation to your brakes from your splitter and from the rear, if you can, to try and pick up some air from under the car and pump it over those brake calipers and brakes. And that'll get you a bit more time as well. So you would have to cut some holes in the car and probably get some aluminum and make up some vents for the brakes, obviously. That would probably give you a fair bit more run time on the track to start keeping them brakes cool. So I'm getting a brake upgrade on my car. I'm getting racing brake fluid put in it and changing it to some heavy duty pads. Not changing the discs at this point. I don't feel that will be necessary. The other thing I'd probably look to do is get a rear anti-roll bar, because when you really push the car, at least for my car, so the Commodore, when you really push it, gets a bit of understeer. So understeer is not great for your speed. I believe the reason for that is because when they designed the car, the reason why the brakes aren't the best is they designed it with the family car in mind and the V6, not the V8. I suppose they didn't really be thinking that people would be doing that with the V8. They probably just think people just be driving around. And for normal driving purposes, the brakes are fine. But for, if you want to take it on a track, and I'm sure a lot of people with fast cars do, that would be, that you find that because of the extra weight from the engine, it tends to understeer a little bit. So the balance of the car is not the best when you really push it. Now, what you'll notice with that lap is I was going as hard as I possibly could with those tyres and wasn't hitting the ripple strips or the curbs. And that was because I wasn't really sure about how the car would react. Also, learning the track and for the first time, you don't want to be breaking your car on a learning experience. So basically, I was testing what I could do without hitting ripple strips. It was really good fun though. I really recommend. So the cost was, for me it was $75 to run for the day, and if I'd gone to the long track, I think it was a discount if you did the short. I would recommend doing the short track for a road car to start with, as the brakes definitely get really hot, and then that kind of ruins your day when it comes to going for some fast laps. The good thing is you'll get to see what your car can do in corners and how it reacts. So it'll also teach you like better roadcraft on the road, obviously. So that's definitely a good thing. And I really do recommend it to anyone, especially the car people out there. I mean, you don't have to have a fast car to go out and have fun. You could do it in whatever car you've got. It doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. Other thing to make note is make friends. Go down there and make friends. It's good to make friends. And like everyone I talked to was really nice. I mean, the fastest car, my car was the slowest. The fastest car, that was, you're wondering. Cat's there. She's about to tell me off for not getting her attention. Come here, then. Come here. Come here, push, push. Come here. The fastest car that was out there was an R33 Skyline, I think it was. He had quite a bit of work done to his car. He had the racing tyres, big difference in speed, massive difference in speed. The other thing the guy suggests is if you're going to use the car for the racetrack, get the camber reset at a guy that knows what they're doing. At least the front camber, so you can corner a little bit sharper. again, I use my car as a daily, so I wasn't really looking to do anything like that. I like keeping my car neutral and the toe and everything neutral. Don't want to be messing with that. That's not how the car was designed, so I'm not looking to change that. Like I said, to correct the balance on the car, I think what it really needs is an anti-roll bar on the rear. That would probably correct the balance going in and out of corners, because it'd probably cut down the understeer, stiffen up the rear chassis, and then it would cut down the understeer. It's probably fine for that car. And the other thing I'd probably look to do would be, if in the future I might look at doing the ventilation for the brakes, and probably just a cold air intake and a good exhaust system, and maybe get the check retuned. That would be it. That would be all I'd look to do, but I wouldn't want to do that to the car. Like I said, it would devalue the car. I like the car as it is, and there's no need to change things like that when the car works fine. Drives fine on the road. There's no reason to start altering things like that. Got plenty of power for what I want. Yeah, there's just no reason. And it will make it more unreliable. The thing that I would do would be looking to improve reliability on the car. If I was going to do that, the other thing I would do would be upgrade the oil cooling system, and because they have a plastic spinning pump inside, and plastic wears out, and these LS engines, that's what they do. The other thing is, the other problem is that they do is it's oil cooling, and that's right, get the engine rebalanced so there's less vibration, so you get the car up to revs and it's not like vibrating like well, I didn't really find that with the V8. V8s have less of a problem with that. That's one of the reasons why people move to V8s, is because of the smoothness of the engine, so might not have an issue with that. But I think it's called blueprinting. You blueprint the engine. I don't know if they redo the head studs. The bottom end. The LSs didn't really have a problem with that, and the Ford engines do. So yeah, if you've got a good thing, this is probably good for Ford and Holden guys. If you've got a Falcon, and I think you'd find that the issues would be very similar. I think you'd find the brakes wouldn't last over a period of laps, and I think you'll probably find that your car might be a little less pointy on the corners than you would like it to be. I'm not really sure. I think the Falcons run a different suspension setup. I think the Commodores use the H pattern setup, and I think the Ford uses an Apex. So I think the Holden's like that, which is what I've got, and I think the Ford's like that. So potentially you might have a little bit more sharper in and out of the corners. It's hard really to say. I didn't see any Falcons out there that day. So yeah, and as for if you're running a Boss V8, like if you're running the XR8, like an older one, or an older GT model, I would say that what we call the Ford Falcon GT. Over here they just refer to it as a GT. Not every GT is a GT Formula, right? Or GT at that time. I think it stands for Grand Touring. Anyway, they were the fast car. Well, that was supposed to be the fast car for the Ford, but it actually turned out that the 6-cylinder turbo was faster. There you go. I suppose it's because the Ford turbo was a forced induction, whereas the V8 wasn't. It depends what you prefer. I mean, if I had a choice, I would choose the GT any day of the week over the XR6 Turbo or the G6, and it's simply because I'm not a fan of six cylinders over V8s. That's it. I prefer the V8. I prefer the instant power. I prefer the noise. I prefer the torque of V8 over a 6. Yeah, and I also wasn't running on my car. It has a traction control system. I wasn't running that off. Maybe next time I will. I don't think it'll improve the times overtly that much. It's more of an anti-stability, right? It's a stability control button. It just basically, if you get unstable, the car has an automatic correcting system that helps rebalance the car. So I guess I think it basically it probably plays around with the brakes a little bit, maybe like squeezes one caliper more or something like that to basically smooth out your braking or smooth out the car. So I think it's if you basically hit the sand and then the car starts doing that, then it basically tries to correct you so you can regain control of the vehicle. My car doesn't have enough power for for the like really crazy thing it's front. It's got 365 horsepower. It has pretty much a standard LS2 motor in it. I think they detune it a little bit. I think it's referred to as the L98 motor. They detune it a bit so it wasn't more powerful than the Camaro or the Corvette at the time. It doesn't matter. The car has plenty of power. I'm not worried about that. The way I see it is potentially it has a bit more reliability in it and life you can expect because it's not thrashing the motor as much, possibly. So there might be advantage to that. The other thing was, is that just look up. So the days that I went was called a test and tune day, and they do cars. So ring up your track, your local track, and just ask them about it. Ask them about a test and tune day. Ask them about a day you can take your road car, and they'll help you out for sure. And trust me, guys, you're gonna have a lot of fun. So the fastest car was an R33 Skyline. He had a roll cage, tyres, done a bit of work to the engine, not much. Probably turned the turbo up a little bit. I think they had some coilovers on their car as well, and the brakes package, so it was pretty decent, I think. He hadn't taken his seats out or anything on his car. The other car that was there, I'll show you the times soon. The other car that was there was a BMW, I think it was an M2. I might be able to find a video of his. Let me just check because I'm pretty sure I've seen his car videos before. And I was following him, and I actually thought I was catching up to him, but then he told me, he could go about 10 seconds quicker. So I was like, that never mind. Let's see if I can find this guy's car. I don't know if this was the guy. I'll bring up this video. I think this is the long track. He has an M2. Well, this particular video is an M2 competition. His car, he was saying to me he was getting like 1 minute. I think my fastest when I was following was like minute 10. So my average was like 1 minute. So I'll try. He's kind of way faster than I. He was touching the curve there, touch the curve there, touch the curve there. And you go for the long track, you go straight on here. Yeah. But they had quick in a straight line. Slows down the road too. Nice car. Actually, this might not be the guy. I think the colour of his car is different. We had a silver BMW. This one's got white by the look of it. Yeah. It's good at straight lines. So that car, a fair bit quicker. I was definitely like he had worked up to that car. The other cars that were running was when I was out there was a Mazda MX-5. That was pretty quick. I liked that car actually. I liked the sound of that car. It sounded nice. And yeah, I'm trying to think what other car was out there. There's about 5 of us. I think there's the Skyline, the BMW, my Commodore, the MX-5. Oh, that's right. And there was a Beers car out there, which was like an endurance car. It was basically another big Commodore. But this particular Commodore, he ripped everything out, turboed it. It was a V6, but he turboed it, added the brakes and all that. So his car was pretty decent. Yeah. I think his car had problems though in the end. Crank angle sensor. But yeah, look, all I would say is go and do it, guys. If it's something you've always wanted to do, don't stop being afraid of insurance and all of that. Just go and have some fun. Like, all I can say is when it comes to worrying about insurance, just, when faster cars are approaching, just let them stay on your racing line, let them overtake on the straights. Like, when you see them slow down, let them go past on the straights, and see if you can follow them. Have some fun out there, guys. Have some fun. Let's go through the times so you can see what I was doing. And I just downloaded this app. It was free, so that's why I use this one. It doesn't record video. It just records your GPS and your your sensor and everything. So the times that that's I don't know what that is. That's basically that's a thing. So this is it's just called My Race Labs. Okay. So that was like some demo thing. I don't know what that is. The first times it tells you how many laps you did. So the first few times I got a bit more laps. I think I did about 5 laps on the session 2. I just didn't. I think I recorded it on the camera, but that's the one that didn't work on the. That ended up having like really bad sun in the face. It was unfortunate. I put it up there because I wasn't sure if I could get video of the dash cam, so I was like, oh well, at least it's sunproof. So the first session I got 1 minute 12. The second session I got a 1 minute 10, and the third session, that's when I was following the BMW. So this is on standard road tyres, and then I got enough. And the difference with the first session and the fourth session, or whatever it is, is I was trying a bit of heel and toe on the first session, and when I spoke to the guys, they were kind of like, well, heel and toe on this track probably unnecessary. Like on a track like Bathurst, yeah, you could use it, but I was just practicing heel and toe. So maybe that shaved a bit of time off between those 2 sessions. I don't know. So does it make a difference? Yeah, somewhat. Hard to say. And you can see, like, that's when the brakes were really starting to cook up there. That's why these laps start getting lower and lower. Pretty consistent times, 1:12.71. So for a Commodore SSV V8 6-litre around Collie Short Motorplex, 1 minute 12.71 is the average. That's the time to beat, guys. That's what you've got to beat. So I'm sure you can do it. And the other thing about this particular one is, if we click on the first session, you can actually see, you can see it gives you a breakdown of your times. Sorry, trying to. My hand's not as steady as I'd like it to be. So it gives you a breakdown of your times. And what was the other thing it showed you? We'll bring up that one again. It tells you your speed too. So the first corner I was doing 74. Then I was doing 80 through that longer section. Oh, sweet. Didn't know that it did that. So this is in kilometers per hour, by the way. Yeah, so it actually tells you how fast you're going. There you go. So yeah, actually this app's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. So, I had no idea you could do that. Oh, again, this was probably, it's just recording my first run. So, yeah, first lap there. Yeah. And yeah, I had no idea it did that. But that's pretty sweet. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I had no idea it did that. Um, and just see what else you can do with this thing. I think if we go to the home page, um, sorry, I'm just going through these little features on this thing. Oh, sorry, I found something. Optimal lap. It runs through everything. Actually, this app's pretty cool. This race lap. No, I like this. There was one I wanted to show you guys. It basically, so that tells you like top speed and distance traveled and things like that. So this my race labs actually, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's really cool. Anyway, so I think that's pretty good, guys. I don't think we need to drag this on anymore. So basically, you know, if what you'll find with a road car is your biggest problem will be the brakes. If you upgrade the brakes, you're going to have a lot more fun out there. Check your tire pressures before you go. Make sure you got you got enough oil in the car. Like top up your oil for that, all that stuff. I'd run the factory recommended tire pressures for what it says, just because for one, it will just give you a baseline as to where you think the car should be. Then you can sort of adjust as you need. And yeah, and look, it's great fun out there, guys. So if you want to have a bit of fun on the track, you don't need to have a race like yeah, you can take your car out there. Yeah, so yeah, just be respectful to other people and give them room and enjoy. And yeah, don't worry about being the fastest or the slowest. Just go out there and have fun. All right, peace out. No worries. Bye.